Hey guys, it's Coach Bricks.
Coach James.
This is the Game Changer. Say we want to talk about speed and how it really should be broken down. And there's two types that I talk about. There's speed that everybody wants, okay? But there's really game speed that everybody needs, okay? So if you're playing a sport, a court or field sport, you need game speed. That is different from speed, okay? We have to put that out there because what you see straight ahead, yes, for track and field, 100 meters and things like that, that's what you want. You want that speed, okay? But when it comes to court sports, field sports, you need game speed. You got to be able to accelerate, decelerate, reaccelerate. You got to be able to change direction in a blink of an eye because you never know what's going to happen. I talk about sports as being organized chaos, and that's all it is. It's just chaos in an organized setting. You got to be able to decipher what's happening at all times, okay, especially in small confined spaces. And that's where the game speed comes into play. So James, why don't you break down what are, what we talk about game speed, the three principles that you really need to enhance the game speed.
So the biggest things that we always discuss is that acceleration, deceleration, and the reacceleration, and being able to master those to take that game to your next level. So whether it's accelerating, you're going from a slow jog to a sprint, and being able to then decelerate, stop, and being able to change direction is the biggest thing for a lot of those sports. Because if you're just running, you're never going to run in a straight line in any of those field sports. So all the coaches that say, we're going to do field sprints just down and back for our practice, you're not really working on anything you're ever going to replicate in a game. You're never going to see one guy, they might say you ran 5 miles in a game. You're never doing that in a straight line. You're going across the field, you're cutting, you're doing all these different kinds of movements. So I might be the fastest guy on the field in terms of top speed, but if I'm not the quickest and the most agile player, I might not be maybe getting as much playing time and things like that. Whereas the guy that might not have that overall top speed, but is quicker, can change direction and do all those other things like I mentioned, accelerate out, decelerate, stop, and change direction, and be able to reaccelerate out, he might be getting more playing time than me, even though I might be the fastest kid on the team.
Yeah, and I think that's key, is that I call it the ADR system, and I coined that probably about 20 years ago when I started to look at athletes, and actually I took the whole concept of game speed from Barry Sanders. If you don't know Barry Sanders, go look him up, play for the Detroit Lions. Probably the greatest guy change of direction there ever was. And I don't think anybody's even close. And I know people try to compare people to him, but they're not even close of what he did. But I try to mimic that movement of how to get athletes to move more like him, to understand their bodies, how to get it in that situation. Because everybody was doing speed, and everybody still does speed, and they try to say their game speed stuff. Most people have no concept of it because they're not teaching the foundational movements of that ADR system. And that's what it's based on. Whenever I teach it, we go from the acceleration, deceleration, reacceleration, and then we put it into more practical terminology so you guys can understand of how to utilize this in a game, how to get more out of it in a game situation. Well, we do games now. We do a lot of that kind of stuff, but we just don't throw you into a game. We get you to understand, especially as you age. Younger kids, yes, we do a lot of tag and things of that nature, but as you age, then we come up with all kind of different fun things to do. And that's what we have to master if we want to actually develop better athletes. Yeah, it's great. Like I said, a guy can run a 40 and 42. That's awesome. And everybody loves to see that. Look how fast he is. Give me a guy that can actually change direction on a dime. You know what I mean? And then reaccelerate right out of the same position without just slowing down enough to control their bodies. So I always talk about in the car, if I have 5 gears and I'm in 5th gear going, can I slow down to 4th gear under control, stay in 4th gear, whether I'm side shuffling, backpedaling, whatever, and then reaccelerate right away back up to 5th gear like that? A lot of athletes can't. They might be in 5th gear and they got to drop down to 2nd gear because they just can't control their body. They can't slow it down enough and then go. I want them to just slow it down just enough to be able to reaccelerate that. And the reason they have to slow down is because something happened that they have to make that decision on so they don't hurt themselves or hurt somebody else that they can get out. So game speed is definitely different than just speed. So parents need to understand that. Parents need to understand that greatly because if you're just being taught speed, unless, like I said, if you're in the track and field, go for it. But outside of that, you need game speed. We also don't do distance. I know people come in and ask us all the time, well, I need to get in shape. And I'll talk about this in another one, but we don't do distance stuff. All right? If you're an athlete that you're a court or field sport athlete, you need game speed. And how we rep it and how we do it, you'll be in great shape if you do what we ask you to do, because those are the things that actually get you. And what we did we were doing a drill, this was last year with one of my groups, and it was after we taught the ADR system, I then put into a game situation. It was a 3-minute game, all right? And these athletes are top level athletes and all this kind of stuff. They were completely exhausted after those 3 minutes, okay? Because you keep that up there, right? And if I did that over and over, like different games like that, 3 minutes long, 5 minutes long, they would be in better shape than somebody who just goes down and runs long distance. So, whole basis is based on acceleration, deceleration, reacceleration, and getting them into uncomfortable environments where there's chaos and how to understand the chaos. And then actually come out of that chaos better, all right? So you're not running somebody over, but getting around people and getting through people and understanding how that all goes. And that's what we teach in our game speed. Much different than anybody else. Like I said, I've been doing this for 15, 20 years where I've been doing this, where a lot of people, they try to mimic stuff, but they have no idea why they're doing it. And I think that's what you have to look at. Do they understand the concepts? Do they understand the acceleration, deceleration, reacceleration? If they don't, then they're not teaching you the stuff you really need. You need to have that basis down. You need to understand it. And I don't care how slow you are, I don't care how fast you are. This system has helped thousands of people understand how their body moves. And we have so much proof of it because of the athletes that come out after they're done. Wow, I can move so much better. I'm so much cleaner. Yeah, they might not be the fastest guys still, but their movement inside very small confined areas is better than the guys that a lot of times have that straight ahead speed. So, game speed, two different things. Know what the person's talking about. If you're going to see somebody, know what they're talking about because you got to decipher between the two. Guys, this is Coach Bricks.
Coach James.
This is the Game Changers.